All right, everybody. Welcome to Weeks In, show number 96. Wait a minute. Something's different. Nerd shirt, nerd glasses, nerd headset, but this is not Graeme. Ladies and gentlemen, I just have, we didn't want to do it like this so abruptly, but we need to announce something. I've had to replace Graeme as host of Weeks In, and been working with an agency for several weeks, and best we could do is find this new guy, another freaking guy from IBM. I can't believe it, PJ. So, PJ, what do you think really won you over in the casting process? Because I understand it was very grueling. There were like 3 rounds of auditions, and they were pretty tough on you.
They were absolutely tough, and I mean, I think it's just my personality that came through as a winner. And,
that's what I read in the notes, but I'll be the judge of that. We're going to do a couple of test episodes, and we'll see how it goes. We'll get
Sounds good. I think the contract was for at least 10 episodes, if I remember correctly.
That's
I got to talk to my agent, I guess.
That's a tall order. You might have put a wrong decimal point there or something, but no, folks, we got Graeme here. I'm sorry. Graeme does not look.
What the hell was that?
Well, I think you have a more technical explanation for what's been happening. Some of the gaps we've had in our schedule in the last 30 days. And
I do.
I don't know if you want to like show off some new technology for our
I might.
Technology behind, I guess.
So first of all, welcome, PJ. Let's be honest. What won you the slot in the casting process is the fact that you've got a Cobra Commander helmet and that you often wear it. So, and I see an R2D2, I see a TARDIS. Like, we're good.
Well, we're gonna fan out here. Let's get a wide shot. I just want to bask in the back. I want to bask in the glory. And you know what? PJ's room. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, what? I'm feeling like vertigo or something. What's happening?
What is?
What? Do you have like a drone in your office?
What's happening here? What's happening here?
What is it?
You guys can see all the crazy shit in my office. Okay, so I have this fancy new camera, and I've been deep in testing it for several weeks now. I haven't been working. I haven't been eating. Okay, I've been eating. But the point is that I've got this fancy new camera. I don't really remember what it's called, though. I think it's Instalink 360. And so it's this AI-powered camera. Yeah, there it is. Oh, I'm sorry, Insta360 Link. I don't even know you know what? It says it right on the front of it.
I'll zoom in here.
Anyway, it does some really cool stuff. Like it's got gesture control, and you saw it follow me around, so I can turn my face tracking on and off. I can do this where, okay, now let's see. Can I do it?
Wait a minute. I got to zoom back out so you can like demonstrate properly.
Oh, it's working.
Wow. No, that is magic.
Okay, I'll turn that off. And then there's another one. I'll turn my face tracking back on. What's really cool is you can get these things, right? Oh, should I go over here? No.
Are you going to start talking about NFTs? Because if you are, I'm kicking you off the show.
So you can put these little things up wherever you want, and it'll lock onto them if you point at it or do some gesture. I don't even know. And it'll do all these really cool things. So the point is, folks, I've got a better camera. So you know what? you want to know what? I don't need this piece of shit anymore. This thing, I'm done with it.
I just bought one of those, dude. I just bought one of those.
I don't want people getting sick, so I'll shut the tracking off.
My camera shot is nicer now because I'm using a Logi HD something or another.
Dude, your camera's way better from whatever you've been using. And PJ, you look great too. So honestly, I think the key takeaway here is we are really handsome, and now the world can see.
You're right. I think we're ready to like do our group application to the Handsome Gentleman Club with Jimmy Kimmel or whatever.
I would wholeheartedly concur. So anyway, new camera, new tech. I had to get a powered hub for it because it pulls a ton of electricity, and they're like, "Don't plug it into your laptop; you'll kill it." And I just got this brand new laptop, so I'm actually. I mean, if you remember, Ryan, we had some technical difficulties.
Right. I mean, I look back at the early days, and I feel like we were like on a dial-up on a Chromebook. Like it was pretty bad.
Anyway, let's get into the show.
Anyhow,
PJ, welcome. Really glad you're here.
Well, I want to welcome you first by like showing off like your claim to fame is this dad joke meme that you created of you in the data center. Eating apparently the fiber optic or Ethernet connections connected to probably a mainframe. Is that right?
That is absolutely right. Yeah, that's our test data center. And I got hungry, and that was the only thing I could find. There was a fork around, so start shoveling it.
I love it,
folks.
man.
You can go right to PJ's Twitter account for as long as Twitter lasts, and you can see this photo. It is just an outstanding photo.
Unadulterated, unbastardized. Yes.
I actually saw it went right as he tweeted it out, and I loved it. It's such a great photo, and I'm so glad that you finally have earned is it hundreds of thousands or millions of followers at this point? It's all very well deserved.
Again, decimals. We were told there would be no math. You know what? I just want to talk about like some trends. What do you think? Like the death of Twitter is apparently a subject of much debate.
It is happening. It's
real. What do y'all think? Is it a real thing?
Yeah, I mean, I was up way too late last night.
Me too.
Tweeting.
Yeah, I was too watching. Me too, man.
And it just looked like the ship was going down, and all the big brands are tweeting. And
I just felt a little. I felt a little like spot in my heart when I saw people like bring up the fail whale, and I'm like, you know what? I remember the early days of Twitter. I mean, I got on Twitter like 15 years ago. It's like, it is kind of like what launched me from moving from a technical career into a marketing career, honestly. And it used to fall down a lot in the early days. I mean, it was like the technology was like, some guy had, PHP sitting in a closet somewhere, and then they had to like become a legit company over time. But I just think they have so much infrastructure now that, yes, there is definitely questions about what's going to happen either, in the next 5 minutes or in the next 5 days or what have you.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's driving a lot of chaos of people trying to rehome to new platforms. Right. And it's just in the death throes. Right. You only see Twitter die once. So you got to be there. You got to be hot.
Well, I agree that there's clearly serious problems. I mean, we're sort of seeing it die in real time. Whether or not it will stay as is or go down for a period of time, minutes, hours, days, weeks, or whether it dies altogether remains to be seen. We'll see. I mean, I've been having a lot of fun getting caught up in the hype, but here's where and look, Elon is just an absolute garbage human. I don't doubt his geniusness or whatever, but for PayPal, SpaceX, all these different things he's done over the years, Tesla, of course. But my take is the way he's treating people is wrong. So if the company goes down, it may not necessarily be a technical issue, but a people issue. But all that being said,
it's all related.
It's all related. But that being said,
I think that's the mistake. But
here's what I think is really great. I actually saw an enormous amount of really love and affection being poured out on Twitter last night. Yes. People saying this site has brought me great joy over the year. I mean, Ryan, you are one of my best friends of my whole existence, right? And that is a direct result of Twitter. You and I connected on Twitter, met because of Twitter years ago. Our friendship has become very close, and I value and it reconnected me with friends from high school, my friends Gavin and Kevin, who I now talk every day with, right, and have for years and years and years, and we game every Monday. So my point is there's this huge outpouring of connections and appreciation. Gee, I really appreciate the art. I appreciate everybody's humor, all the hard work. There's a lot of good stuff. And here's my thought. If Twitter survives, I think we should celebrate yesterday's date, every year, and it should be Twitter Death Day. Okay. And every year we should all say goodbye to each other and have this like huge love fest.
There can be a Norse theme and bonfires. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's kind of like when somebody dies and you're like, gee, I really wish I'd said things. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, hey, everybody, don't forget to hug the people you love. Like when it happens when things that are profoundly important to us are taken from us. And Twitter is profoundly important to a lot of us.
Yeah.
Right. It is the network that that we primarily use. So, that's my take. Is we should celebrate Twitter Death Day.
I think this tweet encapsulates it, right? He's joking, but it's the truth. And this is what they were talking about in the Twitter space that had like 20 or 30,000 people on it last night talking about like, what does Twitter mean? And it was people, calling in from Uganda and from all these places all over the globe, talking about the impact. And like, African-American woman came on and talked about how it's literally saved lives, during, riots, protests, police actions, all kinds of things.
But Ryan, think about its origin, right? It was originally one of its original uses was for people to be able to connect, collaborate, and help each other at South by Southwest.
Right. Well, yeah. And before that, I mean, literally the concept was an SMS service where bike messengers could coordinate their deliveries in New York or San Francisco. I can't remember the city, but both of these things are true. It's a horrible site and it's a beautiful site.
It is beautiful. And we all know
exist side by side though.
And we all know that Jack shares the original founder's view that the absolute primary core point of Twitter always has been for three nerds to get together on a show that nobody watches.
Well,
we have some comments coming in, so we got a couple viewers.
This show, I'm going to argue that this is show number 96, and some of them have been good, some of them have been bad. 96. I'm going to say it right here. This is going to be a pivotal show because of what we're talking about with Twitter, which has brought the three of us together. We're going to talk about space here in a minute, which is going to change everybody's life again, 50 years after the original Apollo landing. Check out this question from my buddy Max Parker, who is not in IT, not in a tech. Well, he's a very crafted, I would say crafty, skilled, awesome person, but he works in another universe from what the three of us do for a living. Yeah. He actually, manages a boatyard where they're repairing ships, and doing all kinds of fantastic work that is,
Does he sing sea shanties? I must know.
I think that is a thing. Awesome. He has a very prestigious goatee, but he's one of these people where 15 years or 16 years into Twitter's life is like, I still don't get it. And I still get this from my wife.
So it's very simple. It's very simple. This is what I ask people. What network do you get?
Right.
Is it for you? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Right. Is it Mastodon? Like somewhere out there. I mean, Max is sending, and Max, thank you for your comment, and you make a great point. But you're doing it from Facebook. So if he understands Facebook, and why that one is important,
it's
then
the same
on
thing.
Some level he can understand Twitter.
So I don't know if I agree. It's the same thing, right? I came to Twitter.
I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm saying
here's what I want to say is I want to hear if you agree with this, PJ, it's that Twitter influenced all of these other things. And if you now gravitate towards Facebook or Mastodon or Instagram or all of the mechanisms that became like the important ways that we break through and talk to each other, I think they all originated with Twitter because every other platform copied Twitter. Hashtags, @replies, DMs, everything that we do now functionally came from from
I think a lot of the branding culture came from Twitter, right? So I came to Twitter, I don't know, about 2.5 years ago. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get it either. And I just I probably should figure out what's going on. But the reason I stayed is because I met some phenomenal people over Twitter that I never would have met in any of these other social networks, whether it be LinkedIn or Facebook. Facebook had, to me, always been kind of a closer knit community of people who are within your already sphere of influence. Maybe you get contact with someone, but I feel like Twitter kind of opens the door to be an open community where you find your clique, right? The people that you like,
your tribe,
you're interested, right? And there's so many, and Twitter has a lot of diversity. And this is what I don't like about Mastodon, right? Is kind of like you have to pick the clique, right? And be on this instance, and sure, you could follow people, but I don't know. The experience for me, I've been using it for a week or so now. I don't get it. I'm not seeing what I want to see. I'm not, I thought I picked the right server, but I mean, I'm a geek. I love so many different things. I love tech. I love Star Wars. I love, space. I love Dragon Ball. It's endless. And you can get and consume and really have delivered in a way the things you want to see. And you get to meet the people that have that same interest. I don't think any other platform still does that, right? I do Instagram.
PJ, so I agree with you. And it's also given me the ability to connect with people in a way that other networks have not provided me. This book right here, I learned about it on Twitter. It's Apollo Remastered. It's an incredible book. I'm able to communicate directly with its author. There's another book over here, Open Circuits. There's all kinds of things in here that I've acquired, and art, My friend Eli
100%.
just made an incredible piece of art. I've got my Thunder Snow art over here from Rob. So the point is other networks may give you the ability to see. I find Twitter gives us more of an ability to connect. And I just, the cleverness, and you see a lot of cleverness for content on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, certainly. There's a lot of incredibly talented people out there. But I don't know. I think it's the constraints of Twitter, right? Like forces you to be.
Simpler is harder. And it's more freeing, and it's more.
Yeah,
I agree. And I just want to build off what you just said. Show you a couple other Twitter examples here.
Oh, Ryan, did you just upgrade your camera to AI?
I'm using what's called my right hand and moving my computer. So look at this. So I'll
do it the right way.
I'm showing off new art that I've got in my studio. PJ and I were talking about it in the green room. This painting is from an artist, a musical artist that's a great lyricist that I met online, and now I go to his shows. Now he sent me a painting for Christmas. Then I've got my illustration from an artist who does gig posters for the Avery Brothers. He drew Baby Yoda, original illustration. Like these kinds of things are what happens on social that are just, unbelievable, right? Like your life is changed. And can Facebook do it? Sure. But it's still it's a different context. Like I would not discover and meet people in the same form or same way through a closed garden kind of what's called a closed garden approach like that.
Yeah,
and definitely not
Mastodon. This is a good example, right? This is an example of a piece that I just got that was created by a guy I went to high school with. And he's this incredible artist. And I ended up following and reconnecting with him on Twitter. He ended up sharing that. I was like, dude, send it. Right. And so like I find I'm sort of like at first I was like, if it goes, it goes. Who cares? I'll be an antisocial or I'll go to another network. And then I was like, wait a minute, no.
Yeah, it just drew you back in, right? And what drew me back, right, was I was ready to let it burn. I was there. I was dancing around the campfire too last night, right? I think there was just a culture,
PJ.
right?
Absolutely.
But it's like the people, and you said it earlier, Graeme, right? Is the people kind of whipping their life rafts together, right? It's like, hey, it's like, how do I connect with you if this goes down, right? Where are you? People that you just talk to and interact with, right? You didn't have to think about like, oh my God, I'm never going to maybe talk to these people ever again if I don't figure out a way to connect in other methods. And I think what's interesting, right, is I've now followed these people on other platforms where I'm seeing different content that they're also creating and interacting with them in different and broader ways, right?
Yes.
Which didn't exist before this, this meltdown.
Yeah.
Well, it's been really interesting. Here was one of the introspective tweets that I had when you and I were singing around the campfire last night, PJ, on Twitter at 2:38 a.m. was I once heard somebody in like 2007, 2008 at a blogging conference I used to go to say that like blogging was email CC world, right? Twitter became texting CC world. 140 character ideas, that was revolutionary because again, what Graeme said, the constraints. It was called microblogging in the early days, but it became something else. Declarative living was like a new lifestyle of like sharing your whole world in a public way. All these different things that happened. Hashtags were invented. The @reply became ubiquitous with news coverage and influencers or brands, you name it. Your own like name, our names on this show is our Twitter handles. Your DMs are open. All these things were like invented and evolved over time. So I just think the impact is unmistakable. We do have a question from Andrew here. So Andrew, who said hello a moment ago, made a comment about Elon, which is the perfect segue into the last sort of comments I want to get from both of you around Twitter, which is Elon is a figurehead. Companies are successful because of the talents. I think that's what we're going to see that is putting the company and the platform at risk is exactly this. So I agree with you, Andrew. What do y'all think?
I agree with him. Lower decks, right? I mean, it's the lower decks people, and I do agree with that.
And whether that's 50 people or 7,000 people, the concept is the same. So what you said, PJ, at the beginning was key. Is like it's about like the culture and the team and the how you work together, not like who can produce the most lines of codes in a 20-hour day, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't know if I would agree he's a figurehead. That part maybe not, but I do agree.
He's a personality.
Well, he
right?
shouldn't.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be a figurehead, but he's acting like one, and that's a problem.
Right.
Yep.
And he's his own brand, right? So, and whether you like his brand or not, like but the way he's treating the people, the employees, and he said grinding them to the stone. I mean, you're not going to be successful no matter what you do, and I don't care how smart you claim you are, but it's a shame.
So I agree. Why don't we finish with this question here, and then we can move on to Artemis and some other nerdy topics. So why don't we start with PJ? So not just what is hardcore Twitter 2.0, what's your final thought on Twitter, and how would you answer this question?
Yeah, I mean, I like Twitter. I want Twitter to last. I want it to survive. And it's not because of the platform. Like, I like the tools, I like the platform, but it's the people, right? And then even connecting with the same people on different platforms, it's not the same experience, right? So is how do you find your tribe, your community, huddle up, keep those interests flowing, and I'd like to see it survive. I hate it to die one microservice at a time. But it feels like that's the worst way to die.
You're gonna see like features dropping off of your app, like.
Yep.
Ryan,
for me, I look, the same things that I put up on the screen a moment ago. The magic of the network effect and the change it's had on my life, which is there's no doubting it's changed the course of my career, my personal life, everything, in very tangible ways that you can look back on. And I don't know what could replace that, including any of the existing platforms I like, because it was not just the technology, it was like the moment and the I don't know. There's something about Twitter that's different. And I think that's why a lot of people get it and sort of latched onto it. That's why a lot of people don't get it. And that's okay. I just don't want to lose that. And I don't know what hardcore Twitter means. I don't know if that means they're like gonna, stop offering colors or something and make it look more like a green screen display. Like what does that actually mean? I don't know.
Okay. Let me address that word hardcore. So what he's talking about is the old adage of you have to push your workforce to the breaking point. That if you're not working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, eating your meals at work, being at work, bringing your best, bringing your it's if you'll excuse me, it's really tropey bullshit from the 90s, and I'm really sick of it. And what we should be doing as a society is encouraging people to work hard, yes, but have a good balance in your life and allow yourself to be a person. He is asking his workforce to be extremely hardcore because he's screwed right now, and it's obvious. And so where do we go from here? I view the next level of Twitter really hopefully that they bring in a more balanced chief executive and sort of that executive level to really put Twitter back on track. So a lot of the changes he's made have been ridiculous. They have failed. What he announced today is not free speech. It's moderation without moderators, and we don't know who's going to be pulling the string. So where do we go from here? I think we're gonna be walking with crutches for a while. I think this site is going to be a real mess for a while, and then I think it can get better. And I don't know what the underlying story is here. All I know is I hope it survives. I hope we can continue to use it, but if not, we'll find something else. It's kind of like the end of Truman Show, where people have been addicted to the Truman Show their whole lives, and then all of a sudden he walks out the door, shuts the door, and the two dudes in the office are like, let's see if something else is on. That's exactly what will happen.
Yes.
It's exactly what will happen. So whether it's Twitter or Mastodon or Facebook or whatever, or something new, which obviously this is leaving a huge opportunity in a market for somebody to build something new. We'll see. And wherever we end up, I just hope we find each other again, because it's been a lot of fun.
Okay, make sure to drop your postal address and your cell phone in the chat, people.
And your shoe size, yeah.
I want to make sure you are able to get our broadcast when we move over to MySpace.
To CDs.
I just want to say one thing. This is, I promise, the last thing about Twitter. It's going to segue nicely into the NASA incredible story of the week. Is let's stop denigrating Space Karen, okay? There's a real, actual Dr. Karen James who works in this space and does important work. And God damn it, I just
Well, you know where the whole space Karen thing came from,
There are Karens that matter, okay? And Elon's not one of them.
That's very, very true. And the fact that they broadcast that on the headquarters of Twitter last night was, among many other insults, was pretty funny. But this is a great tweet, and I'm really glad she put it out there. It's really cool, and it's nice to see, because if you look closely, that's not that. I don't think that's that simulator that we saw. Yeah, see, it's not. That's not the one that you and I used at the Kennedy Space Center. That is the shuttle. You can see it's in a servicing building there, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about the biggest story of the week. Honestly, is got to be Artemis 1. What do y'all think?
Yeah, it was really exciting. I was gonna try to stay up late to see it, but it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm an old man. I got to be in bed by 9. So waking up in the morning, I literally ran to the television and saw that it had launched and was so excited. And it's extraordinary. And a lot of people were like, oh, you had no faith. No, it's not that I had no faith. It's that I believe in safety first. I don't really care how long it takes them to do it. I'm just glad they did it. And it was an incredible launch. The energy of the people involved in the launch was exquisite. The announcers, all the different people were so excited. It's a hell of a machine to see it go. And that view right there is just crazy. Yeah. And I'm really excited. I mean, PJ, what's your take, man?
Yeah, I mean, the energy, obviously, of everybody in the room, everybody not in the room, but obviously there at the broadcast was amazing, right? And that gets you excited. And I don't think NASA has done a great job over the last 20 years to get, the nation, the world invigorated about space, right? Chris Hadfield was the Canadian astronaut. Like, he did a banger of a video of music, and that kind of got people interested. But it's like, we want more. Let's get there. Let's do stuff, right? People are excited. Like, we've been talking about, colonizing the moon and the other planets forever, right?
Forever.
It's
50
like
years.
we're fine. Yeah, I mean, we're finally right at the cusp of doing some exciting science, right, and getting there and building base stations, right? All the things that the future was promised to us, right? It's finally happening, right? And to actually be here and watch it, and hopefully this kind of continues. It was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I saw one of the comments that one of my friends that I actually started in my software career with back in '97 commented on Facebook and said he looked at this particular post and said, you know what, this is exciting at all. And he's our age. He's actually a bit older than us, but he just said, you know what, there's a little bit of a disappointment when you look at these rockets side by side and say, why doesn't it seem more advanced now? And like, the SLS is reusing, boosters and engines from the shuttle program. And it doesn't seem like advanced enough for 50 years of progress. But I would argue that's not looking at some of the details. I don't agree with that, because when you look at what's in the Orion spacecraft, when you look at what they're doing with the satellites, when you look at what they're doing, even just with the cameras, it's some amazing new technology. Orion is powered by solar. It has FPGAs on board, shameless plug, that are made by AMD. I mean, it has some amazing technology in it that's really going to propel us to that moon mission to where we can live there.
Yeah, I agree, Ryan. And when people are like, oh, it looks outdated and they're using old tech, it's like, well, wait a minute. You're complaining that we're using old tech, but you would complain even more if we were building new stuff and taking another 20 years to develop it. So, definitely in space, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And these things work. The solid rocket boosters are reliable. The engines that were used are reliable. The design is reliable. The external fuel tank is reliable. The larger sort of increased Apollo size and the way the mission is running is reliability and design. So we're going, man. And I just, I just think it's great. I will say NASA needs to let us get involved in their social. I will say that. But here's one of the things I was thinking, and you guys
little cringy, but I look, no. For me, I just look at this and I look at it, and everybody's like, why are we watching this CGI? And it's like, dude, really? Like,
yeah,
this is amazing to see it play out. And then it's not just the CGI, which is showing like the stages and trying to explain that. Frankly, they're doing a great job of explaining like the stages of like every part of the journey. But then when you switch over to this view, oh my gosh, This is the money shot for me, y'all. I don't know about you, PJ, but like
Yeah.
this
It's
is
incredible.
beautiful, terrifying, haunting, awesome, all in one, because it's showing the Orion vehicle moving past Earth.
Yeah. You know, go ahead, PJ.
Yeah, I just say the data that we're going to get from this rocket, even when it comes back, right? It's going to be amazing, right? I know that we're seeing some interesting early stuff, but we got to wait a month, which is sad, right, for this thing to come back. But yeah, the technology, the camera, the definition from 50 years ago to now, right? I mean, I think we're going to see some spectacular video, photos, right? And this is just the start, right?
This is just the start. Artemis 2, they're going back with their crew. Artemis 3, they're going to land. It's funny. I was looking at the launch, and I forget who it was who tweeted out the video where they mixed it in with Motley Crue, which was just awesome. And I was actually thinking how cool it would be if they had like the standard NASA feed, and then Ryan, they had like the cool kids table, right, where it's like music and people, are a little freer in their language. There's a little bit more excitement. People are having a lot of fun around it.
So when I was watching the replay, right, because I went back, I wanted to watch the replay. I didn't watch it live either, right, because I'm old. Before they started, I mean, it was like the 30-minute window right before, like, they cut to Yo-Yo Ma playing in an orchestra, right. And I just felt like, yeah, that's cool, but like, this could have been so much cooler, right?
Could have been so much cooler.
Those kinds of things are. Let me explain this. Been in marketing a while. It's always designed or planned by someone who's thinking about a stage presentation and not a multimedia presentation. So that's how that works. But let me show you one more shot here. There's the blue marble, folks. Like this is the new.
Look at the
wow shot.
Oh my
I think.
God.
Yeah.
And Graeme and I, you and I have talked about how. We met the guy who took the original photo and like talked to him about the program and what Apollo meant to him. And I just think this is going to inspire a new generation.
Yeah,
I think so too.
And I get it. Like, we don't, plug to the Millennium Falcon. Doesn't look like the Millennium Falcon. It doesn't look like the Enterprise, right? And I think we've seen that so much, right? And we 50 years, give that to us. That's the space we want to get to, right? But this is the stepping stone to, I hope, to eventually get there, right?
This is what we got.
It is the space stations. We're building them. They're going to go build rockets on the moon, right? That's one of the big things they're talking about is how do you go build, so you can get further out into space, right? That's going to be, I can't wait to see that. I cannot wait.
I agree.
I agree too. So I just want to close this part out by saying, NASA Social, we're available. We're ready.
Yeah,
we're ready.
We are.
We're ready to play some small part in making this awesome. Because honestly, we could talk about this all day.
I would just like to point out that my Photoshop skills really are second to none. So first of all, PJ has clearly been reversed. It is backwards. His arm looks like it's been cut off and reassembled.
Right. Honestly, I'm going to print this out, and this is going right on my wall. And,
these weird. It does.
But I matched the CCTV font, which is pretty cool.
I noticed these details. They are really good.
I did match the font. It's also a little bit like the scene in For All Mankind when the Saturn V explodes and they're all standing right in front of it. So it's a little bit like, are we going or are we about to be killed? But it's fine. It's fine.
I get it. I mean, this is a valiant effort for what may be one of the most epic guest portraits that we've had.
It's pretty good. I was pretty excited.
It is amazing. I do love this. I'm going to posterize it. It's going up big on the wall.
So PJ,
then you got to come and sign it.
Do you know what picture I took? Do you know which one that is?
No.
So
it's got to be hugging a mainframe. It looks like there's a mainframe.
You're half in the door. And
that's why I was like, it looks a little like you're putting a little bit too much in. I was like, something must be happening.
And you've got your leg up, and you've got your hand in the door.
Look, now we've got Graeme in true demo showman mode with the
it was
camera.
It was that's the photo. Anyway, Artemis was great, and I'm looking forward to more.
I just want to say, if you know, you know.
Yeah. So this is an awesome photo. So this is one of those things where it's like, I get it. They're at a con. You can tell there's things for people to sign and buy in front of them. But this is Alex Rogan. Oh my God, I can't remember the girlfriend's name off the top of my head. And these are the actual actors from The Last Starfighter. And so, oh my God, I almost had her name. Come on, guys. What?
Interns, can we get in the headphones?
Oh my God, I can't believe I can't think of her name. Anyway, this is one of those things where it's like, if I saw it, like this is as close as I would get to like seeing a Jesus character in real life, right? Like this would be crazy. And it's actually them. And then I started thinking how cool it would be if, look how great they look, how cool it would be if they did another movie, or if they made a series,
Catherine Mary
Disney Plus or something.
Stewart.
No, but what was the character's name?
Oh, I don't know that. I'm gonna have to go back to my.
So
Maggie Gordon.
Maggie, thank you.
I see that photo and I'm like, we're getting old.
No, I don't see that.
No,
I see the reality of saying, hey, you know what? First of all, they both look pretty good.
Oh, and absolutely. I'm saying me personally, like I'm getting old seeing that photo.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I think we also got to get a shout out that we also passed another milestone with yet another Star Wars Life Day this week.
We did. So doesn't Life Day now intersect? I think, isn't Life Day also the same as Twitter Death Day? Like I'm pretty sure they're the same day.
Pretty close.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's a celebration of life and death at the same time.
It's a celebration of life and death, and we can do it every year now.
Life is a very circular, life and death. It's a circular journey.
One
door closes, another opens. You wanted to talk about some kind of like book report or something you did for your kids. Like,
okay, check this out.
Come on,
check this out. So, and Travis, if you're watching, he already knows what's about to come up. So, I found this. Okay, and it's like a book of the movie. But here, look at this picture. Tell me this is not awesome. Look at this picture of Dillinger at his desk.
Nice. Ooh.
It looks like something out of like an old,
How much software would you like today?
Yeah. And there's just so much goodness. So I got this book, which was really, really cool. And actually, surprisingly, the writing's pretty good. But this is one, PJ, you got to get this. You're going to like this. So this is Open Circuits. Again, another book I learned about on Twitter. And so what's really cool is they literally do like laser cutaways of what's inside all the different types of circuits and switches and everything we use and how does it all work. And so this, if you get a chance, PJ, you got to pick this copy. If you can get it on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's a really fascinating read. It's a really cool thing to just like, if you have 2 minutes between meetings, you can just read like 1 or 2 pages, because each 2 pages like a different set of switches or, whatever, resistors or circuits or things like that.
And
really,
I love looking
really,
at pictures.
Cool book.
Who reads anymore?
Who reading? I can't read. I have to look at pictures. I actually can't read.
All right, look. Those books are awesome, and if I ever learn to read, I will check them out. But something that's much cooler than that is, quite frankly, modeling. I want to see some modeling back in my life, and then PJ showed up and like started building Gundams last week. So I just want to like give him the floor to show off the new stuff. And there's like apparently been advancements. You didn't call him
Gundam.
There's been advancements in modeling that I want to hear about too. So I don't know. I'm excited.
So I'm gonna be honest. I when I was a wee lad, right? I love models, airplanes, tanks, right? All the World War II stuff, right? And what I absolutely hated, one, like I didn't have any real tools, right? I was a kid. 2, that glue, like you'd either glue your fingers together, you rip off layers.
You can still smell it.
I know it's disgusting, right? So recently, one of my buddies at work was like, you got to start getting into modeling again. I'm like, yeah. So after a couple of weeks, he finally handed me a kit. He said, go build this, right? And I'll tell you what, man, these little things, there's no glue. There's no painting.
They're so much fun.
And the detail, like this is entry grade. So there's a whole grading classification system on these things, right? So this is like the basic one. Takes you about a half hour. You get this cool little fully articulating thing.
That's unicorn, isn't it?
This is RX-78 Gundam, right? But yeah, they have, and like these are the basic ones. So I went out, and once I built one, I was like, I'm hooked, right? So they have like the giant mega one. Like this is even in the class, right? So you try to get that glare off, right? But the detail, the articulation on these things, right? That's not even a good picture of it. That's even not a good picture either. But these things are freaking awesome, right? And I can't wait. So I put a Twitter poll out there. What's the next one I want to build? I got a stack of these. I got into one of the things. The reason I got into it, and we were talking about it, is I love tabletop role playing games, and there's we stumbled into this Gamma Wolf. So talking about books and book reports, right? So it's a game of post-apocalyptic mecha warfare, right? So
I love every word you just said.
You're giving me an idea. I feel like we need to like bring RPGs back to hardcore Twitter to 2.0 or something.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I'm gonna be honest. That's what started the internet, right? Is all these MUDs, multi-user dungeons, the text-based role-playing game. I mean, I grew up on that.
AOL chat was all about that.
Absolutely, and I mean, and that's how I got addicted to the internet right out of the chute. But like this, and the thing about this is like this is just a rule book. Like you bring whatever mecha model you want, so it's like we're gonna build a freaking army. So of course,
I like this idea.
Yeah, I started with that model, and then Target has exclusives now. So Target has the same model, but in completely red, white, and blue American brand. And I'm like, this is it. I'm gonna build this whole army in the color scheme. I got matching color scheme. So it's awesome. I honestly I didn't think I was going to get into it like I did, but and you could do as much intricacy and sanding and making sure the little plastic bits don't break off. Phenomenal.
How old are you, PJ? How old are you?
Hey.
I'm 41. No. I'm 41.
Yeah. That's a great age. I went through a Gundam phase at a similar age. Good for you, man. I'm all for it.
Well, what I would be excited to see is like I was not into Gundam. I was into Robotech and Macross and all that kind of stuff. I would love to see a Veritech fighter. Like that's my holy grail transformer is Jetfire.
No. That's my holy grail. It can't be yours. I'm the one with the fucking Optimus Prime.
I think I'm ahead of
Thank you very much.
I'm ahead of the queue. But if we could find the same kind of model without the glue to do that kind of stuff, sign me up.
I mean, and they have
Prime Lego, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm dying to get that, right? And I mean, so this is honestly, it's almost just as easy as Lego. There's the extra step of like, you got to bust the things out of the spruce or get the tools to cut them out. But honestly, and it's fun. It's different. Lego. I'm kind of over Lego, right? It's kind of all the same, right? These things are just awesome. And then you could pose them, and they got all you could go as crazy as you want. You could paint them, do what you want. But I'm hooked. I want to get everybody else hooked. And so get back into modeling if you haven't. These things are cheap, awesome.
Well, as long as my wife does not watch this live stream, there's a chance. But
okay, because I was going to say, Ryan, mine are all in a box downstairs.
Because I just added the Lego full-size Grogu to my shelf, and that nice, I was told that was it.
PJ, he's a terrible addict with the Grogu's. Let's do a lightning round. I know we have a few other things we wanted to get through, Ryan. Why don't we try
let's do it.
Wow, we just lost PJ. We'll whip through.
Sorry, I'm back. I hit the wrong button.
No problem at all. Whip through a few more things, and then we'll wrap it up. What
you want to do first?
We can all go read books and build models.
Oh, you know what? I wanted to let you, we can't do a show without one of your harebrained ideas. So talk to me about these weird floating sea craft.
So can you open them both up? I saw this artist on Twitter. By the way, Twitter is great if you guys haven't checked it out.
Really?
Is that new?
Yeah, you should check it out. Yeah, some guy named Elon. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyway, look at these pieces. I just thought it would be so cool to do like an animated series, but animated in this style, right? To look like this about, I don't know, maybe a group of explorers going around some futuristic world where this is how they get around, almost like a Johnny Quest type thing. I have a lot of other series of ideas, by the way. If you ever want to see my full list, I have a moment that has every series I've ever thought of. But this is definitely one of them. But just take a look at that. Isn't that really cool?
Yeah. So the first thing I thought of when I saw this was the Studio Ghibli's got to do it, right? I mean, they've done a bunch of like the Porco Roscoe, right? The airplanes.
Wow, PJ. Did you see the announcement?
I didn't. What? Did I miss it?
You must have. They are doing Star Wars.
What?
No? Yes.
So are you talking about like for Visions or something else?
So my guess, everyone's guess is Vision. So maybe last week they put out a tweet. Studio Ghibli put out a tweet, and I'm sure it's other places as well, where you see the Lucasfilm logo and then their logo.
I completely missed
So
that.
they are definitely doing Star Wars.
But I mean, this is the style I would watch.
Isn't that
the crap
awesome?
out of this. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a model I would love to build. Like this is it's a beautiful. I love it. The Burin cresting wave flying.
It sounds like a bird watching activity to me.
I know. Well, I love watching birds. You know that. I'm a bit of a birder.
Oh, you are. We need to show off some of your photography for that. So you heard it here, folks. Not first.
You heard it here last.
Source of Last and Useless. We're modifying our headline for 2023. Last and Useless Nerd Knowledge. So
yeah,
beautiful. Love it.
Thanks. What do we got next? Did we want to talk about Wakanda Forever? I have not seen it yet, so no spoilers. But
I don't want to give any spoilers.
Here's the thing. PJ and I were talking in the green room, and neither one of us have seen it because we're afraid of the runtime, and we're old and tired. So motivate us to go see this film.
Okay, so first of all, there are scenes where you can take a pee break. So I just want you both. I want you and your prostates to know that. So
there's like an intermission with a red like curtain.
No,
a little yellow icon pops up.
A little yellow icon. I gotta stop.
Let's go out to the lobby.
Look, I'm not going to reveal anything. I really liked this movie. I love the vision of Wakanda. I just think it's a beautiful fictional place. But the action of the movie is good. The story is good. The character arcs are great. Some of the writing is good. There's some janky stuff with some of the CGI. That's fine. But what I also really liked about it is Namor is awesome.
Really?
So
you know what? It's Friday,
great movie. I think it's a great addition to the MCU.
Is Namor officially a mutant in this? I think.
Yes, he actually says it. He actually uses that term.
I like that.
Yeah, which I thought was very interesting.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of over the stuff that's been going, and I want to see more X-Men coming. Right, Fantastic Four. I want to get back, or and honestly, that's some of the core stuff I read. Right, and hey, look. Books.
So me too, PJ.
X-Men Last Stand. Like, come on, bring the X-Men, because I think Marvel is going to do a fantastic job. I mean, they do a great job with everything, but I mean, I want to see Marvel's version of X-Men on the big screen.
Yeah.
Well, something we haven't talked about yet is, I want to talk about one more Black Panther question I have for you, Graeme, but let's do that one first, and then I want to hear about what y'all think about the announcement of Deadpool 3. So in Black Panther, apparently one of the comments was that none of the Avengers shows up to T'Challa's funeral. What's up with that? Is that true?
You should watch the movie.
Okay, let's do that.
And
we'll watch the movie.
You should pay attention. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. Okay, I definitely want to go see it.
So Ryan and PJ, you're welcome to come back anytime. Let's do a deep dive on Black Panther after you guys have seen it. So once you've seen it, we can reconvene. And there was an Andor. We're going to skip Andor this week too, because I want you to get caught up on Andor, and then we need to talk about that, because that show, I still have some issues with it. I think having a stuttering droid is insulting. But it's really growing on me. And all I will say is Andy Serkis is an absolute genius.
Yes, I will agree with that. Okay, let's close it out with this thought. Deadpool 3, Hugh Jackman coming out of retirement to play Wolverine again. PJ, thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm here for it all day. Hugh Jackman can play Wolverine forever, and I will watch that.
Okay.
Bring him back.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm a thumbs up. What do you, Graeme?
I'm not giving it a thumbs up. I'm giving it excited claws up.
Whoa, nice.
I'm so excited.
Shink, shink.
I would even argue he's the best there is at what he does. Oh,
but the thing is, it's just like the whole dynamic between him and Ryan.
Oh, amazing.
Deadpool,
the chemistry
is awesome.
Yeah.
Deadpool is amazing. So I'm just excited to see where they go with it. I'm all for it. It's great. It doesn't feel like a gratuitous, oh God, they're bringing back this character again. It doesn't feel like that to me. It feels
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, the whole buildup for Deadpool 1 and 2 was him wanting Wolverine in the movie, right? I mean, and this is the payoff, and only Marvel can do it, right?
Yeah.
It's like
I agree.
They were building towards this, and like if it was anything else, like it would be a disappointment. So I'm glad. I'm sure it's going to be cheesy as hell, but I'm here all day for it.
Great. I'm here for it.
All right, folks. Well, PJ, thank you so much for being on Week's End number 96. It's
Thank you,
been
sir.
a pleasure to have you on the show.
Awesome.
Always good to see
hope
you guys.
It's been fun. Yes. And we're going to have you back in the new year with a new fresh coat of paint on this crusty old nerdy stream that we've got going here. But thanks everybody for watching Week's End. We love it. We love the comments. Keep them coming. What do you think about NASA/mutants/tweets? We want to know. We'll see you next Friday on Week's End. We've only got 3 more episodes till we get to 100, folks. So
crazy.
We'll see
crazy.
you.
Excited.
Thanks, everybody.
PJ, thanks for being here, bro.